All right, Republicans in New York are in a battle to take control in some respects. For example, the governor's mansion. And they just added a handful of new Republican House members, too. You got Republican Lee Zeldin and GOP Assemblyman Mike Lawler are in very tight races. In fact, Lawler's now up on a guy against Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul and Sean Maloney, who's considered a rising star on the left. Those two races are among a half dozen that are really competitive this year. What is it about the Republicans in Are they actually able to kick off the respirator? Joining us right now is the co-host of the #1 morning show in New York City, the star of Bernie and Sid in the morning. Sid Rosenberg is here, and his new book, Citizens United, is now out. Tells his story and also what's important to the people of New York, correct?
It is all correct, thank you. I love the King of New York. I'm going to steal that if that's
right.
Okay.
I made that off the top of my head, and I do think it was a demand of your appearance. First off, New York ready to flip? People on the outside go, what are you talking about? New York has never been so liberal. But you think Zeldin's got a real shot?
I think he's got a shot. Is it ready to flip? That's still a tough call because, like you talk about, the numbers are not in our favor. But
2-1 Democrats outnumber Republicans.
Maybe even more. But people are sick and tired of the crime, which is skyrocketing every day. 39% the robberies are up. 21% aggravated assaults are up. They're sick of it. They're sick of seeing the homeless all over the streets, the filth, the taxes. People are fleeing in big numbers. And guess what? Both Republicans and Democrats want safety and clean streets. It's no longer a partisan issue. I think people are waking up, and I do think Zeldin will make this a very close race. He can win this. It comes down to who debates better, if, in fact, Kathy Hochul decides to debate.
Over the last few days, she's been on the cover of the New York Post because she will not commit to doing it. She did it verbally, but won't commit to a date. If she waits too late with early voting done, it'll work on her behalf. It's hard to see her numbers growing. Now, about Sean Maloney, really vulnerable here?
I think so. I actually spoke to Mike Lawler a couple of days ago. It's the same situation, Brian. What's happened now is that local politics equal national politics. So the same things we're talking about on a national level, right? The border, crime, safety, taxes. That's exactly what we talk about locally. That gives Mike Lawler a shot in his county, a very, very big county here in New York. Right now, he's beating Maloney by 2 points in the latest poll.
So what's kind of interesting is we've been covering it on Fox and Friends in the morning. I don't know if you have on Port Authority, the income about 70, 80 people on these buses from Texas. Mayor Adams at first was very angry. Now I think he's on his heels a bit. He commented yesterday on our situation at the border. We are writing checks in New York City to set up a illegal immigrant center, which is unbelievable. Here is Mayor Adams talking on Thursday about the illegal immigration policy of the administration. Try to make sense of this.
Anyone who states that this administration does not have a handle on this crisis, they must have been sleeping under a rock. The Republican Party, they have created a blueprint. It's inhumane for the governor to send immigrants to Martha's Vineyard without any coordination. It's just creating a real crisis.
Are they wearing masks to stop from laughing?
Come on.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Look, I cover Eric Adams very closely here in New York, and he was a guy I liked when he was Brooklyn Borough president. Something has happened to him. Well, D happened to him, Democrat. And at this point, he's starting to make Bill de Blasio look like, I don't know, Einstein. He can't get a sentence out. He doesn't explain himself very well. The truth is that going to Martha's Vineyard or New York City, if you're a migrant, an illegal migrant, not such a horrible thing. Could be a heck of a lot worse. So I'm not sure what Eric Adams is complaining about. I will say this. Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis are two real American heroes. Those are two great patriots. In my book, they're what this country is all about, not Eric Adams.
And, of course, you're talking about the fact that he took some of the illegals in Florida, sent them to Martha's Vineyard, and Abbott sent him to the vice president's house.
That's gorgeous.
Here's what the late-night hosts, they have a different view, Sid, of what these two governors did. Watch.
The worst things about Donald Trump is all his dummy mini-me's. All these elastic pants governors who are pulling their own little stunts to excite the stupid. Ron DeSantis is that guy you went to high school with who desperately wanted to be prom king, but he didn't have any charisma, so instead he just pulled the fire alarm and ruined the dance for everybody.
Of course, DeSantis wasn't sending these folks to the vineyard to have a good time. He was human trafficking these families as a political stunt.
What's your take on this? Do they understand that 8,000 illegals are coming through a day? That they're complaining about 60? And he thinks it's funny?
They understand. They're not stupid. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel should be more worried about his own show these days. He's in big trouble. Any Karl Malone impressions lately, Jimmy Kimmel? And the other guy also is a very, very smart guy. They know it. All they're doing is spouting out, regurgitating Democrat policy. Like you said, Texas gets 8,000 a day. We get like 80. And we're like, oh, my God, what are we going to do? They got to stop. Inhumane. Right. We're giving these people dinners and tickets and fancy hotel rooms. I should be treated that well.
Right. You are treated that well.
That's
Sid,
true,
you are royalty here in the city. Sid, you also have the huge sports background, so this is not hard for you to stretch this. How important is Aaron Judge's run for the single-season home run record? He's on the cusp of beating Maris. He's in the high 50s already. What's your take on what this means in sports, put it in perspective?
It's a huge deal. Maris hit 61. Judge has the Brewers the next couple of days. He's going to break that record, if not in Milwaukee, then sometime next week. And
I think he's got Pittsburgh after that.
He does, the Pirates, exactly. So bad ball clubs. He's a good guy. There are no steroid controversies or any of those rumors surrounding Aaron Judge. Neither was Roger Maris, of course. But ever since Maris, whether it was Bonds or Sosa, McGuire, as you know, Brian, every big home run hitter had that steroid thing around them, not Aaron Judge. Good guy, New Yorker, loves kids, charitable, hits home runs like we go to work.
It's true. And by the way, by about 30 home runs over than number 2, which is unbelievable. He had a shot at the Triple Crown. Sid, you wrote your book. You talk about sports. You have all these anecdotes. Why are you a Giant fan? What did the Jets do to you?
Oh, don't bring this up. This is very painful for me, Brian. When I was a little kid, I actually won a contest at A&S Department Store in New York City to be the mascot of the week for the Jets. That was going to allow me to sit on a bench with Joe Namath and Emerson Boozer. And the Jets decided, because they were 1-5, their head coach, Charlie Winter, that little Sidney Ferris Rosenberg from Brooklyn would be a distraction. And instead, they called my father and sent me a signed football. On that day, 47 years ago, I became the biggest New York Giant fan ever.
And you told Joe Namath that, too,
I did,
right?
3 days ago. He loves that story.
He's been #1 in New York with Bernie. Fantastic success in ABC. Congratulations on your book. It's a great story.
I love you, Brian. Thank you.
And Sid goes up and down, but he always gets up, and he continues to fight.
Thank you very much.
Sid Rosenberg.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.